Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. We're just giving everyone a minute just to join the webinar there. We've got quite a few hundred people just coming into the session, so we'll just wait a couple of seconds, give them a bit of a chance to join in. Okay, very good. First of all, welcome to this Southern Cross University update webinar. It's been a while since we had one of these very large-scale webinars talking about what's happening at the university. But a lot of us on this call have just returned from some trips over in Southeast Asia and South Asia, where we've been promoting our new courses and all of the great updates from the university in the past couple of weeks. So we're very excited to be able to share all of this with you today. Just a little bit of an overview of what we're going to be talking to you about, and we expect this session will go for about 45 minutes. If you do have any questions, just a reminder to please put them in the Q&A down the bottom. We'll get to them during the session and also at the end of the session. So we encourage you to enter any questions you have there. First of all, we'll be doing a bit of an update about what's happening at Southern Cross University, how we're growing, how we have new campuses, new courses, and also the launch of Access26 for next year. We're going to hear from Tim Rudling about the new hotel school campus over in Perth. And we then have three highly esteemed VIP guests from the faculties who are going to talk about the new courses that we've rolled out for 2026. All of these courses have been based on what the market has been asking for. And you'll find that each one of those courses has got a fantastic range of features that offer really good opportunities for your students from there. And then we're also going to hear from John Crowder a little bit about what's happening with admissions at SCU and also the launch of our AI John Bot. That's what we're calling it at the moment. Before we do that, I'd just like to introduce the Director of Recruitment from SCU Global, Jenny Saville, to say hello. Over to you, Jenny.
Thanks very much, Adam. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. It's amazing to see so many people coming through and the number still rising. There's hundreds of you from both within Australia and globally around the world. So thanks for making time, whatever the time zone is that you're in at the minute. Hopefully you'll find this session really useful. And I'll be here to help answer any of the questions throughout the session as well. So I won't take up too much time because I know that you're here for our VIPs, but just wanted to say thanks very much for joining us. And it's a pleasure working with you all. Thanks, Adam.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Jenny. I can see lots of thumbs up and lots of love hearts going on there. So you seem to be pretty popular. Congratulations. All right, so we thought it would be useful for you to get a bit of a sense of what's changing at Southern Cross University. And you'll notice that our slogan is transforming tomorrow. And we think what you'll find is that Southern Cross is one of the most rapidly developing universities in Australia in a couple of different ways. So firstly, we now have campuses spanning right across Australia and the most popular destination cities for international students. You'll remember, some of you, a few years ago, that a group called Educo used to run the campuses in Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth. They are now fully operated by the university. So they've been integrated into the university. And as at the end of last year, the hotel school is also fully integrated into the university as well. So that means that Southern Cross has more than 7 campuses around Australia. The great thing is not just can students choose all those different destinations, but you can apply through the same system. We're making sure that the tuition fees are the same for all of those courses, and you'll be able to receive awesome support for your recruitment efforts right across all those campuses in Australia. Most recently, we've just launched a new campus in Brisbane. So the Southern Cross Brisbane campus, this was just announced in the last month. Our first intake will be coming up in T5 this year, where we're offering education programs, including early childhood, graduate diploma, and also the Master of Teaching Early Childhood. So that's a brand new campus in the centre of Brisbane. It's in River Street. So like you can see in Sydney and Melbourne and Perth, the campus is right downtown, close to public transport, close to accommodation, and close to jobs for your students in Brisbane. Not only that, just this week we had our new regional manager start on the campus. That's Kayla, who quite a few of you might already know. Kayla joined us on Monday. She's based on the Brisbane campus, and she's there to help you get students in. We still have a month to recruit into term 5 for early childhood. So if you have any queries, please ping Kayla and you can ask for help from there. And just today, we had a new regional manager start on the Sydney campus called Wing. So Wing is going to be based down there in our Sydney City campus. He can also support you with any of your inquiries. So welcome to those 2 new staff, and we're very happy to have them there. So when we've been on the road in the past couple of months, we've shared just a couple of statistics about the university that can give you a sense of how the university is changing, especially compared to some of our competitors. So this is a chart of 2 of the most widely used ranking systems in the world, Times Higher Education and the QS World University Rankings. First of all, you'll notice that Southern Cross University is now in the top 500 to 600 universities in the world. Not only that, if you look at QS, their ranking has improved more than 200 places over the past 3 years, which is a massive improvement in the global ranking of the university. So you can see that that is improving on that measure there. Another thing that we look at is how many courses or units our international students are passing as they go through their degrees at the university. You'll see here that over a 3-year period, we've had more than a 10% increase in the number of units passed by our international students. Now, the ranking of the university and the number of units being passed by students are closely related. But before I explain to you how they're related, I'll also show you what's happening with the graduate outcomes of our students. So first of all, if you look at the placement rates for our students, so these are students going into employment within 6 months of graduating. If you look at the top line there, you'll see that on average, about 90% of our students are going into employment related to their courses. Not only that, they're earning very, very healthy salaries. So for undergrad, it's about 73,000. For postgrad, it's about 116,000. So the high level metrics there are about 90% of our students are moving into employment after graduation. And on average, they're getting $90,000 to $100,000, depending on what their level of study was at the university. So if you combine all of those things, a university ranking that's going up, more and more international students passing, and then when they're passing, 90% getting jobs with close to $100,000 salaries, it's pretty clear to see that Southern Cross is producing some really positive outcomes for their international students at the university. Now, the reason behind this, or at least one of the main reasons, is because of the Southern Cross model. So this is the way that we teach students at the university. Since we've implemented it, we've seen a rapid increase in student success and also student satisfaction. Essentially, what it means is rather than studying 4 subjects at the same time, students now study 2 subjects. Along with that, we reduced the length of study from 1 semester down to 1 term. So they now study in 6-week terms. We have removed nearly all exams across the university. A lot of international students don't like doing exams, so we've set the courses up to continually assess the students. So if you put all of that together, what it does is it means that international students can focus on less areas of study, 2 at a time. We start assessing them right at the start of the term, and if something goes wrong, the university can get in there and help the student get back on track. So if you add up all of those things together, you end up with high pass rates, high student satisfaction, the ranking of the university going up, and then most importantly, students getting very well-paying jobs when they get out into industry. So we believe that makes Southern Cross a very good destination for your students. One other exciting thing that we introduced in the last year was the Access25 program. So if you look at most universities around the world, all of their courses have a range of tuition fees, and then they have a very complicated mixture of scholarships. So it's very hard to tell how much it's going to cost to study at the university. So Southern Cross in 2025 introduced a program called Access25, where nearly every course had a tuition fee of $25,000. It's been so successful that the university had the largest intake we've ever had at the start of 2025. And after getting feedback from students and our agent network, we've decided to extend it to 2026. And you can guess what the tuition fees are going to be. Every new and continuing international student will have a tuition fee of $26,000 for next year. Now, there's a couple of exceptions like nursing and veterinary, but almost all of the courses at the university have the same tuition fee. Now, that's the same for new students and continuing students. So we believe if you combine our offerings with that price point, that Southern Cross is probably the best value public university in Australia and a really good destination for your international students. So now that I've shared all that good news about the university, I'm going to hand over to some of our experts who can explain a little bit more about the courses that we're offering for 2026 and how they can help your students. So first of all, I'd like to introduce Mr. Tim Rudling, who's talking to us from Perth, who's going to give us an update on the hotel school. Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Adam, and very good afternoon, good morning to all of you joining us from all over the world. It's fantastic to see so many people here. Before I get into my presentation, just a reminder that if you have any questions, please use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen there. We'll have plenty of time to answer questions at the end. I am talking to you about the Hotel School Australia. And the Hotel School Australia has been operating since 1989. So we originally began in Sydney, and then we've opened campuses in Melbourne and Brisbane since. So Melbourne 2015, Brisbane 2019. And as Adam mentioned, I'm right now sat in Perth. I'm a Perth local, and I'm very, very excited that for term 1 2026, the hotel school is coming to my home, to Perth. So we're really excited about that. We're doing a lot of preparations here in terms of industry partnerships, having lots of positive discussions. And there isn't really a specialised hotel school in Perth. So there's an amazing opportunity here for us to help the industry, and there's a real thirst from the industry to get our students into their businesses and working as soon as possible. So just a quick refresher, the hotel school is fully part of Southern Cross University, as Adam mentioned. We have been delivering Southern Cross University degrees for some time. We have a major focus on our work integrated learning. So paid internships are a compulsory part of both our undergraduate and our postgraduate programs, where students have 30 weeks or 600 hours to do paid internships. We're also always inviting industry onto campus. Today in Melbourne and Brisbane, we had over 70 hotel professionals and tourism operators visit our campus to interview students. We did the same in Sydney yesterday. And we have these amazing CBD locations, as Adam mentioned. So you can see here some stats from tourism in Western Australia, and the reason that we decided to come over here to the West is the tourism numbers in WA are very, very strong. It's an increasingly popular destination, both for domestic and for international tourists. And there are a lot of jobs. speaking to industry over the last few months, there is a real talent crisis in Western Australia, and they are beyond excited that we are going to be bringing your fantastic international students and our domestic students into the hotel school, into Western Australia, so that we can help to service some of this shortfall. At the hotel school, we are very passionate about our students. So we're ranked #1 for student support, 5-star overall experience. We have excellent teaching satisfaction and unit satisfaction rates. And we have an excellent graduate employment rate. So everything we do at the hotel school, from helping students connect with part-time work in hotels and tourism businesses to paid internships, and finally, we have a graduate placement service that's available to all students to make sure that we are really preparing students to launch a successful career in this exciting area. As I mentioned before, we do have the internships inbuilt into both our Bachelor of Business in Hotel Management and our Masters of Business in Global Hotel Leadership. It is 600 hours internship, and the internships are paid in hospitality roles. So for students going into common areas like food and beverage or housekeeping, the minimum hourly rate that they'll get is $27.02 per hour, which means that they have an opportunity to earn good money to help support the cost of study and the cost of living whilst they're in Australia. We're also really focused on emerging roles and required skills. So we are constantly looking at our curriculum and how we can adapt to an ever-changing hospitality landscape. There's a big focus on digital and AI, emotional intelligence and adaptability, sustainability and ethical awareness, and diversity and inclusion in leadership. And these are all areas that we are paying particular attention to at the hotel school so that we can meet the demands of this industry. In terms of our partners, so where are your students going to be working when they come and study at the hotel school? We have a wide range of partners. We work with all of the big hotels, so the big chains like Marriott, Accor, Hyatt, Hilton, IHG. But we don't exclusively work with hotels. So we offer majors in tourism, in events, in hospitality. And therefore we partner with cruise lines like Carnival or Royal Caribbean. We partner with airlines like Emirates and Qatar. For our tourism students, we work with online travel agencies like Booking.com. And then we work with resorts like Walt Disney. So we're able to help students to gain that paid experience in an industry, in a job, in a company that is suited to their long-term career goals. And as I mentioned before, our graduate employment rate is very strong. If we talk about international education now and a return on investment, the biggest return on investment is if the students can get a job in Australia. So that number there, 97%, is both across international and domestic. From that same graduate survey, we had 98% of our international students got their first job after graduation in Australia. So they can be sure that they will see a strong return on investment after studying at the hotel school. So that is the end of my presentation. Now we are going to hand over to the real experts. First of all, I'd like to introduce John Hoare from the Faculty of Business, Law and Arts. John, over to you.
Thank you, Tim. My presentation showing? Yep, great. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming this afternoon. So I'm John Hoare. I'm head of the business school at Southern Cross University, and I'm going to talk to you about 2 new courses that we're offering in 2026, the Bachelor of Business and the Master of Business Administration. Both of these courses have been heavily involved with industry in their design. So I met with industry this morning, I met with industry last week, I'm meeting with industry next week. They're constantly telling me what they want to see in their degrees, in the students when they graduate, what are the skills, what are the knowledge that they expect them to have. So that both of these new 2026 degrees have been designed by industry in conjunction with us. You'll see there at the bottom of the slide, there is my email address. I was recently in Manila, Jakarta, Dhaka, Delhi, Colombo, and I gave everybody my email address and said, please email me with your questions. 200 people must have had my email address. Not one person emails me. I don't know what it is. So please email me if you have a question. Just give me a question about one of my degrees. I've got to get one at least. All right, we'll jump straight into the Bachelor of Business. Let's hang on a sec. Oops, gone too far. Okay, Bachelor of Business. So there's really only two options now with the Bachelor of Business. You can do the straight Bachelor of Business, or you do the Bachelor of Business with a specialization in accounting. So I'll tell you how this works. So we've done away with majors, and that's come from industry, because industry have said that what they want is they want graduates who understand the whole of business. They want them to be leaders, so they need to be across the whole of business. So in the old days, it used to be that students would all do the same first year units, subjects, then they would pick a major, then they would do 8 electives. And industry was saying we're just getting students who think that I'm only in marketing. That's all I'm going to do is marketing. And businesses don't want that now. They want students or graduates who think about the whole of business and are prepared to roll their sleeves up and help HR, to do some business analytics, to help the people in accounting, help them in finance. So we designed this course with industry and said, okay, here's a mix. What do you think of this? We've got economics, we've got finance, we've got HR units, we've got marketing, we've got business analytics, entrepreneurship. They're all in there. It's 24 subjects that the students have got to do. That's being designed to create the best graduates that businesses want. And we think what's going to happen with this new course is that industry is going to say, we want Southern Cross University graduates because we know that they're different, that they're better prepared than the other graduates, because we're very prescriptive in what they study. They have to study things like applied artificial intelligence and business analytics, whereas before they could avoid that. So that's what we've done with this course. So I'll just highlight, so there are 24 subjects in the Bachelor of Business. I've just got a few here that I wanted to highlight to you. So in year 1, they do a subject called Applied Artificial Intelligence. So every graduate from this degree is going to know about artificial intelligence. Business analytics is in there as well, and that's a subject that I teach, and we use Gen AI in the business analytics subject. In year 2, they do a subject called Professional Development, and that's really setting them up for internship in year 3. But what we also do in professional development is it's Gen AI. They've got to do a mock interview, and we get them to use Gen AI to give them advice on what their interview skills are like and to help them with their interview technique. They do digital marketing, which again has a heavy AI focus, create a marketing campaign using Gen AI. Also in year 2 is where they decide whether they want to go into the accounting stream. So you will see there that we've got triple accreditation with accounting. That's CPA, Chartered Accountants of Australia and New Zealand, and the Tax Practitioner Board. So that gives students a lot of options. They can work in the big corporations, they can hang up a shingle and call themselves accountants and work for smaller businesses, or they can do tax. So that's a real strength with the accounting stream. But the best thing about this course is when they get into year 3, we've got compulsory internship. So every student that graduates from our Bachelor of Business or Bachelor of Business with Accounting will be doing an internship. And it's 200 hours, and we help students find the placement. So we have a long list of industry partners who want our students. In fact, the list is longer than the number of students that we've got. So they're about 50% are paid, 50% are unpaid. And the problem I've got at the moment is industry saying, where's the students? How come we haven't got any students? And I have to say to them, well, they're going for the paid placement. So you're going to have to up your game to attract students. So I'm still going out to industry and getting them to take our interns. I don't know why, because I haven't got enough students to fill all these internships. So please send me some students and I will get them internships, and that will get them jobs. End of year 4, end of year 3, they're getting jobs. I mean, look at the numbers down the bottom there. 93% are in full-time graduate employment. I haven't got the number here, but only recently came out. Our undergraduate business students are earning, within 3 or 4 months of graduating, it's about 85,000. So above the SCU average for that. So that's our Bachelor of Business and the Bachelor of Business Accounting. Really good degree, really good. I'm very excited about this one. The MBA, we've modified it again for 2026. It's not as radical as the Bachelor of Business, but what we've included is one major, business analytics and artificial intelligence. So you can see where we're heading with this. We're really pushing this artificial intelligence because that's what the industry is saying is the future, and they need people who are expert, trained up on artificial intelligence. So most of this course is you get your standard MBA units like project management, global business, they're in there, but management comms. But we've also started embedding the artificial intelligence into units like applied business statistics. Again, another one that I teach, which is just all Gen AI, and digital marketing. So that's in the first year of the MBA. They get into the second year, that's when they get into the major and the business analytics, artificial intelligence, quite advanced. Now, we don't do coding. That's like what the IT department does. What all of our units are, it's applied. So it's applied AI to solve business problems. So we're not creating AI, we're using AI to help businesses become more profitable, become more efficient, more effective, more productive. So they'll do natural language processing, AI for business strategy, managing enterprise systems, and of course, with our heavy industry focus, they do an industry research project, which is a real problem that industry have told us that they have, and they work with somebody from industry to help solve that problem. So that's their second year. Again, very good statistics, but the one I want to draw your attention to, and this only came out this week, is look at the median salary for our MBA students, $128,881. That's great money. Some of the places that they're ending up, and same with the undergrads, they end up at HSBC, KPMG, Deloitte, Ernst & Young, Jetstar, Amazon, Dreamworld. Dreamworld's a big theme park on the Gold Coast, so I'm meeting them next week to get them to take some of our interns. So success rate, graduate outcomes are excellent for the MBA and for the BBiz. Now, if you have any questions, you've got my email address, so please send me an email. And I just wanted to thank you, and if I've met you before, I've just got some photos of all the different places I've been to in the last month and the people. So hopefully some of you are in the audience today. I've got your photo up there, and I just wanted to say a big thank you to everybody in Manila and Jakarta and Dhaka and Delhi and Colombo for your hospitality. And it was a real pleasure to meet you. I'd like to hand you over to my old mate, Ofen, who was also overseas with me, and he's going to talk about his IT degrees. Thank you, everyone. See you.
Okay. Can you see my screen properly? Yeah. Thank you very much. My name is Haifeng Shen. I lead the IT team at Southern Cross University. So if you have any questions, we can ask during the Q&A session, but I do include my LinkedIn QR code. So you can take a picture and connect with me just in case you have any questions to ask and any time. So I'd like to introduce the new courses in 2026. We're going to introduce a set of new courses in 2026, so which are Bachelor of Information Technology, a Bachelor of Information and a Bachelor of Business double degree, and also Master of Information Technology. So the Bachelor of IT is a 3-year full-time program, which is pretty normal. And I just want to highlight that if any student who is not qualified for a direct entry into this program, there is a pathway for them to go through the Diploma of IT, which is a 1-year program. If they pass, then they will get into the second year of the bachelor program. We also offer a double degree, a 4-year full-time double degree with business, and John has just introduced the business course. And the student have the choice of doing the Bachelor of IT with the Bachelor of Business, or Bachelor of IT with the Bachelor of Business Accounting specialization. So they have the choice to do that. And I also like to introduce the Master of IT, which is a 2-year non-cognitive program. So if you notice that I did put that in red, because this is a question a lot of people have asked me, whether a student will need some background in doing this Master of IT. The question is absolutely not. So students don't need any prior background in IT, either with a bachelor in IT or whatever. They can do with any bachelor qualification into the Master of IT course. However, if they don't qualify for a direct entry, for example, they don't have a bachelor degree, or the English is not so good, they can get into Master of it through the pathways. So they can do a half-year graduate cert in IT program, or a 1-year grad diploma of IT program to get into the Master of IT. So there are many ways for them to get into the Master of IT program, which is pretty flexible. Another point I want to highlight is both the bachelor program and the master program offer the same specializations. So we only offer 2 specializations. One is in AI, the other is in cybersecurity. So I just want to highlight, so if you might ask why students should come to Southern Cross University to do IT programs. Yes, I have 4 points for you. So if any student asks you why they should come to Southern Cross University, and then here are the program highlights. So the number 1 is we offer cutting-edge technologies. As I just mentioned, we offer 2 specializations. One is in AI and the other in cybersecurity. I don't think I have to say too much about the thing. AI is everywhere. And John just mentioned that in business, students will do lots of AI. It's mainly using AI applications and tools to solve business problems. In IT programs, we offer we teach students how to make AI, how to create AI tools. So if students wonder that whether their job will be replaced by AI in the future, come to do our course, because they will never be replaced by AI, because they are making AI, not, AI cannot replace itself. The other one is cybersecurity. Also the same thing, cybersecurity is everywhere, and we're so connected through our computers, phones, everywhere. Our data is in the cloud, then cybersecurity is everywhere. There are so many data breaches or the cyber incidents happens everywhere. So this is also another area that is very in high demand at the moment. We cover all the major techniques in both AI and the cybersecurity. I've listed some there, but probably there's no need for me to explain these things. But just to highlight that our courses are very practical and technical courses. The second point I want to highlight is both AI and cybersecurity have very high demand jobs, and also well-paying jobs in Australia and also around the globe. I just found some figures. So the first thing is about the AI job. This is from Tech Council of Australia. So AI could create up to 200,000 AI-related jobs by 2030. So the huge, massive number of job opportunities in Australia. The pay is excellent. So I just highlight some of the things. So if students graduate after some years in the career, and they move up to the position as a machine learning engineer, for example, they will earn up to $190,000 with minimum $133,000. If they become a cybersecurity specialist, they can earn up to $200,000. So the pay is excellent. And there are so many opportunities in Australia and also around the globe. Number 3, professional accreditations. All our courses are accredited by Australian Computer Society. If they choose to do a double degree with business, they will get additional accreditations. The last one, which is the one that I want to highlight the most, is the job-ready skills. So one point of difference of program is we do cultivate student job-ready skills. So I want to explain it from three perspectives. The first one is we will do embed industry certifications in our bachelor and master programs, which means when students graduate, they will have the degree. They will also have a set of industry certifications that will help them find jobs. B, we will provide intensive work experience. So that is done through industry placement or internship, and also industry-based capstone project, all happen in the final year of the program. C is we offer transferable skills such as project management, communication, teamwork, problem solving, and also essential career management skills throughout the course. So which are very important for students to transition into their career from the study. So let me just elaborate a little bit for the ABC points. So skill certifications in our programs, we integrate to start with 4 certifications in both the bachelor and master programs. So the certifications are specifically provided by Microsoft. They cover skills in AI, cloud, cybersecurity, and data. The certifications are free to all students. And also students will do the certifications on any campus. So Gold Coast, Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, or Brisbane, they can choose any location to do the certification free of charge, or actually the university pays for it. Intensive work experience, as I just mentioned. So the final year, the student will spend the final year of the program, so the third year in bachelor and the second year in master, to gain essential work experience. So the first half, 12-week, will be for industry placement. So around 264 hours. The placement will be arranged by university, can be paid, unpaid. Joe has intensely explained the placement. So the IT is very much similar. The second part is after the placement, they're going to do a team-based 12-week real-world capstone project with real industry clients. So I just list some of the clients we have been working with in the past year, and they are working with the student to provide them with a real-world problem for them to solve. So student will develop product for them. So this is a real experience, industry experience that will help students transition into their real-world career. Transferable skills. So throughout the course, we build up students' transferable skills, covering all sorts of things from ethics, professional skills in the first year, to career development, project management in the second year, and to the capstone and also placement in the final year. So then in the final year, they're going to apply those transferable skills in the placement and also capstone project with the industry. So both the placement and the capstone will engage real industry people. To conclude my presentation, I'd like to quote one of our graduates, Emma Taylor. So she is the head of technology at the Virgin Australia, which is one of the 2 airlines in Australia. She is a Bachelor of IT graduate from Southern Cross University. And I just quote what she said. So my degree at the Southern Cross Uni was well-rounded from an IT perspective. My lectures were personable and knowledgeable. Many had worked in large companies and corporations, and having someone share experience with me was eye-opening. So look at the way she is. I think that Southern Cross University is a place to go to do IT programs with us. Thank you very much. So I will introduce Professor Charles Namkert, who will talk about engineering programs at the Southern Cross University. You're on mute, Charles.
Thank you. Why is this not working? Is that working now? Sorry.
Yeah, that's working, Charles.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Apologies, everyone. Slight technical issue. Thank you, everyone, and welcome to the presentation of Southern Cross University. And it's great to hear from the previous presenters how the students have been very successful in the education at Southern Cross University and the contributions they've made to the professions, their own professions, and the industries as overall. Now, Southern Cross University in 2026 is going to launch the Master of Engineering degree. And my name is Charles Lemkett. I'm the Head of Engineering at Southern Cross, and feel free to contact me if you have any questions about it. The Master of Engineering is a new degree. It's designed with industry to help fill a gap in the market in Australia for engineers. Now, our program in 2026 will be civil engineering at the master's level. That program is aimed to look what the civil engineering projects are, is basically the stuff you see, the roads, the bridges, the buildings. That's what a civil engineer does, and that's what they're going to solve. And they're going to fill this important knowledge gap. If you're just looking at the stats at the moment, I jumped on what we call SEEK Australia, which is one of our job advertisement systems in the country. And as of yesterday, there was 9,807 jobs advertised at the moment for civil engineers in Australia. It is a very high demand industry. If you're a brand new graduate, the starting salary today is around $85,000, and it very, very rapidly increases as you move up through the ladder. One reason for the demand is there's a high demand for housing, which is not just Australia, it's actually international as well. And also, as you might have heard, in Australia, we have the 2032 Olympic Games, and that's also increasing very, very high demand for engineers in the country. So this degree has been designed to help fill this gap. Importantly, it's not just filling a gap in the Australian market. Graduates from the program have an international job prospect. The degree itself is a 2-year full-time degree on the Gold Coast, Perth, Sydney, Melbourne campuses. It's on campus only, which is a really benefit to the students because it means you're interacting with students, you're interacting with the very wonderful staff we have at the university. You get to meet cohorts of students, you engage with industry. We have industry speakers come and talk to students. We engage with our Professional Body Engineers Australia. So from day one, you're engaging with your profession. And that's part of the beauty of Southern Cross University. You're working in environments where the staff are engaged and employment is very high from a part-time point of view. You want to go work, if you part-time work in the different areas to get some money while you're studying, that's a very easy thing to do because the capital cities we're based in and the Gold Coast are very, very high employment markets in that space. One thing that's a feature of all the programs at Southern Cross University really is industry engagement. In the second year of the master's degree, you do actually work with an industry partner on a project as part of your second year thesis. So half the second year of the 2-year degree, you're working with industry, and this is a great way for students to get engagement with industry and find employment. It significantly helps their communication skills, which are very important in engineering, and it gets students familiar with the Australian context and how you work in this sort of environment. We have an undergraduate degree in engineering. The majority of our students, and I mean the majority, 95%, are working as engineers before they finish their degree. In the master's space, for a good communicated and eligible student, we're certainly expecting the same level of employment for these applicants. Now, for the engineering degree, you do require a cognitive background because it's a 2-year program. So we need students who have got some sort of understanding of engineering. Now, this could be mechanical engineering students, environmental engineering students, industrial engineering students, civil engineering students who have done like a BTEC degree, which doesn't quite meet what we call the Washington Accord. All these people can apply for the degree. Bachelor of Civil Engineering Science can apply for the degree. It does help if they've got some experience, and that gives you a broader range of people who can apply for this program. But some of the major things about it is to know about the degree. We are seeking accreditation with Engineers Australia. for the accreditation process, it does take 2 years to get full accreditation, and we need to have students to get that full accreditation. Once we get that, they qualify under what we call the Washington Accord, which means they can work as a professional engineer in countries all over the world. That includes USA wants to do the state tests, Europe, South America, Asia, but they become a Washington Accord engineer, which means they've got that qualification. And the other thing is the master's degree is a stage 1 competence, what they call entry to practice. So it is that stepping stone into the engineering profession in the Washington Accord space. So the good high standing level of engagement into the program. The degree is very interactive, and I said it's very industry focused, and we absolutely expect the very high demand for the students in the coming years. And the campuses we're presenting at have the really, really high job markets available to them. So it becomes a very practical approach of what we move forward. So I'm going to keep it quite short. Because it is a new degree, I can't tell you the exact salaries you're getting yet, but as I said, if you're a professional engineer in Australia, the starting salaries are 85,000, and it just goes up from there. And if you're willing to go into the more remote regions, it starts about 150,000 upwards, even for a first-year graduate in the very remote areas. So I'm going to pass you on to John Crowder for his comments on admissions requirements. Over to you, John.
Thank you very much, Charles, and hello everyone. A great pleasure to be with you all here again. Many of you I've spoken to before, so it's great to see you all again. I'm going to do a very short presentation. I'd initially been asked to give a presentation on admissions requirements and the visa environment. That's slightly changed. Basically, the visa environment in Australia at the moment is much improved on what it has been in the past. We're seeing very good offshore visa grant rates at the moment, and that is resulting in us being a little bit more lenient with some of those stricter genuine student requirements that we've had in place for some time. So that is good news. Particularly in the subcontinent, we're seeing good visa grant rates coming out of India at the moment, which is great to see. Although overall, the visa grant rates for India across the country are still around the 70 to 75% mark. We'd like to see them higher, but they are steadily improving. What I have been asked to do, though, by our recruitment managers is to give a little bit of an introduction to finding a course on StudyLink. For the last few weeks, we've been getting a lot of queries from agents who are telling us that they're looking for courses in StudyLink and unable to find them. So I just want to give a couple of little tips on what to do there. And I will share my screen to help you through that process. And what we're basically looking at here is the test portal. So this is not real live data, but I'm just going to give you some tips on how to look for a particular course. So I've got a student profile that is already created here. Now I'm going to go on and create an application. So when you click on the Create Application button, you're going to come through to this page where you see a list of all of the courses that are on offer at Southern Cross University. You want to narrow that down. So let's say you're going to look for a bachelor degree. You're choosing Southern Cross University, and let's say you want information technology. So you would use those filters along the top to help you find that. Click search, and then what you will see is a list of all of the bachelor degrees with information technology in them. Now, as I said, this is not live data, so some of these might be old. but I'm showing you the principle of how to find these courses. Now, what you're seeing here is that there are 13 courses currently in the system that line up with that Bachelor of Information Technology. What you've got to do is find the one that relates to the campus you're applying for. Now, I'm going to come down to the bottom here. You will see down the bottom, when you've scrolled right down, you will see that this is the Bachelor of Information Technology. Apply for this course to study in Australia on a student visa. The one above it will say this is only available to temporary non-student visa holders. This selection is really important. If the student is an offshore student applying to come to Australia, they will obviously choose this one here, apply to study in Australia on a student visa. If they are in Australia already and they are going to continue at Southern Cross University on a student visa, they would also choose this one. If they are currently in Australia on a non-student visa, such as a 485 post-study work visa, they would choose this one, making sure that it is the temporary non-student visa holders. Now, I'd like to say that it is as simple as that. Unfortunately, it's not, particularly at this time of the year, where we may have multiple versions of courses going on, where let's say it's a Bachelor of Business that the student is going to study in 2025, that would be potentially different to the Bachelor of Business that is going to be studied in 2026. So what we're then looking at is this code here. Now, in front of this code, you will see a 1. That tells me that this is version 1 of that course. Now, depending on when you're applying, what year you're applying for, you would choose the relevant version for that course. Now, I'm going to show you in a minute how you will find that information. That's on another website, which is our courses website. That will tell you which code to look for in here. The selection that you make here is really important, because once you have chosen this, if I click apply, this will take you through to the next page where you are going to select your availabilities. So if I come down here to this section, you'll see Bachelor of Information Technology, apply for this course to study in Australia on a student visa. Now I want to choose the intake that I'm applying for. So I'll select that here. These availabilities that show up here are connected to the choice you made on the previous page. So very often we get agents saying, I can't find the intake that I'm looking for. That is because of the selection that you made on the previous page. So let's say you chose non-student visa, but you're actually looking for a student visa availability. You won't find it here because you'd previously chosen a different requirement. But if you've chosen everything right, you will see your intake here. What is important to note, very often we'll get an agent calling us saying, I can't see the intake here. I can only see Gold Coast and Melbourne. Many times people fail to see that there is more than one page here. So if you come across to the bottom here, you'll see that this is 1 to 10 out of 22. So you would need to click on the arrow to scroll through to find the availability that you are looking for. It sounds very simple, but we do get a lot of agents who fail to recognize that there is more than one page of options there. And this then becomes very frustrating because you're trying to find the course and you can't find it. So that is what you would be looking for in the StudyLink portal. Now, how do you know which version to choose? I'll share my screen again and take you to the SCU Ventures course page. So this is not for main campus, this is only the Ventures ones. So you would find different information on the main campus page. I'm going to use, let's have a look at information technology. You've got the Bachelor of Information Technology here, and you will see 2025 and the Bachelor of Information Technology 2026. We've separated them out for you because here you can see that the CRICOS codes are different. So when you are looking in StudyLink, if you are applying for the Bachelor of Information Technology in 2025, you would look for this code. If you are looking at the Bachelor of Information Technology in 2026, you would look for this code in StudyLink. So these are very small differences that quite often agents aren't aware of or don't see them. So we would always recommend that you come to the course information page first, look at the relevant CRICOS code for the year and intake you're applying for, and look for this code in StudyLink, and then you will be able to find the availability that you are looking for. So hopefully that has given you a little tip on how to find that information a little bit more clearly. The last thing I'll do very quickly is share the Southern Cross University Ventures admissions tool. Many of you will have seen this before. This tool gives you access to the admissions requirements per country. So if you were looking for India, for example, you would type in India, hit enter. You will see that India will come up on the left-hand side, and going through this accordion drop-down list will help you find the specific information that you're looking for. So if, for example, you are looking at the academic requirements, you will find undergraduate entry requirements all listed here, postgraduate entry requirements listed here, and down the bottom you'll see the entry requirements for the hotel school. If you are looking for the genuine student requirements or financial requirements, whatever that may be, it is all listed for you very clearly here. We have also recently made use of AI. That's been a big topic in today's session. And we have this bot here that we call C, that is the Student Eligibility Agent. You can effectively type a question into this chatbot, and it will respond to you with the information you're looking for. So for example, what are the academic entry requirements for Nepalese students? That's just an example. Hit enter, wait a minute or two. You'll see the system is thinking here, and it will return that specific information to you here. So the academic entry requirements for Nepalese students applying to SCU Ventures, undergraduate programs, it is all listed out for you here. Undergraduate, postgraduate. That is the same information that you will find in this tool, but rather than having to go through it all one by one and search for that information, you can ask your question here, and it will give you that information. So hopefully that makes things a little bit easier for you. That is now live on our website and ready for use. We have done extensive testing. We've tried to break it in every possible way, and it hasn't broken yet. It is returning the information that we hope it would be returning. So please feel free to start using that tool as soon as you like. That is really all from me today. Happy to answer any questions if anyone has any, and I will pass back to Adam now. Thanks, Adam.
All right. Thank you very much, John. And yeah, we love that use of AI there for the student eligibility agent. It's already got the nickname, the John Bot. We'll share the link in case anyone wants to try it out. But it's really amazing. It can pull information on who can be sponsors, financial requirements, and everything else, and put it together for you in a really easy format. So there's a couple of questions here, and we've run over time a little bit, but I think we can spend a little bit of just a couple of minutes on questions. There was one there which I think Haifeng might be able to help us with. And that's about the ACS, Australian Computer Society accreditation for the new programs for the Bachelor and the Masters. Do you have any information on ACS for those degrees?
Yes, sure. The application was submitted for the both Bachelor and the Master. The new Bachelor and new Master was submitted in July. We expect to get the approval in either October or November, that is by November. So it will cover student commencing in 2026, all student commencing in 2026. And we're very confident we'll get that because we have recently received the accreditation for Master of Computing, which was submitted in May. So yeah, that's all.
Yeah, so even though the course isn't accredited, an individual student, when they graduate, they could go to ACS and get individual recognition. Is that right, Haifeng? That's the process?
That's correct. Yeah, but I don't see any possibility that the course will not be accredited.
Right, okay. So it's definitely
fully
going to be
fully
accredited.
compliant. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. Another question here comes from Ayesha Weerasinghe, who I believe is from Sri Lanka. John Crowder, you might be able to help with this. There's a student that's applied for IT, majoring in software development, which I think is one of the majors that is only being offered in 2025. That student's undergoing GS. So if the student's starting in 2025, there's no need to do anything, right? But if it's 2026, is it possible for a student to have applied for software development 2026, or would that be a 25 student?
Must be a 2025 student. We're not offering that in 2026.
Okay, right. So it must be 2025. So there's no changes required. The course is starting this year in term 5, will be running as per normal. If they've got an offer letter, they've got an offer and no changes required. Yeah,
that's right. Yes.
Okay. Have another question, John Crowder. There's a question here about what are the reasons behind not accepting dependents with children for masters?
So this is, let me clarify that. We do allow applicants with dependent children, but it depends on the evidence level of the country they come from. We currently do not allow for level 3 countries and generally not for level 2 countries. This is based on advice that we've had from immigration that these are higher risk applications. So being from those high risk countries, we have taken the view that we won't take the risk with those. The exception is where a student is applying to Perth. And the reason for that is that Perth has different arrangements in terms of schooling for dependent children, and that schooling is generally free in Perth for international students, whereas over this side of the country it is not. So yeah, that is basically how we treat it at the moment. That may be reviewed, but that is currently our process.
Gotcha. Thanks, John. And Charles, there's a couple of questions around engineering, and because a cognate degree is required, do you think you could give a little bit more detail on what previous degrees could get a student into the Master of Engineering Civil?
Certainly. No, thanks for that question. The sort of degrees that we're looking at is, for example, a Bachelor of Engineering Science in Civil Engineering or Environmental Engineering or even Mechanical Engineering, a Bachelor of Engineering Technology in Civil, Environmental, Mechanical can get you in. Mechanical, it does depend on what they've done, but it's normally pretty good to get in there. If you've done a Bachelor of Science degree and you've worked in an engineering company for a number of years, that's a possibility. So a cognate background means you have to understand the basics of engineering. And that's where those sort of degrees help. So even an engineering degree from a country which has not a member of the Washington Accord, this program is designed for those students to get the Washington Accord level of identification. So some countries don't sign up to the Washington Accord. This one allows them to sign up for that. It allows the student to complete the degree to get that entry level to become an Australian engineer.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Charles. There's a lot of very specific questions about particular qualifications and countries and markets coming. So rather than dig into them, I've shared, at least for ventures, the GTE guide or the academic entrance guide in the chat there, so everyone can have a look at that. I also encourage you to contact your regional managers in your country. I think we just answered the question about civil engineering. One question that always comes up, and this might be good, John Crowder, for you to answer as well. How does Southern Cross deal with students with a previous refusal? And I think you might have been about trying to answer that as well. Would you mind answering that one live for our last question?
Sure. So when you're saying refusal, do you mean a visa refusal or a previous academic refusal?
I think that's a visa refusal, John, that they're referring to there.
Yeah. So we don't automatically reject. So if a student has had a previous visa refusal, we will ask the student for further information. So we would ask them to provide us a copy of the visa refusal notice and decision record. We would have a look at the reasons for refusal. If the student is able to demonstrate that those reasons for refusal no longer exist, then we would probably make an offer to them. An example would be, for example, we see many where the student was previously rejected on financial grounds, and the student can now provide evidence that they meet the financial grounds. We would have a look at that and determine, well, they now meet the requirements, so it is very likely that we would give an offer. If the student wasn't able to demonstrate that those reasons for refusal no longer exist, then we would probably deny.
Okay, thanks, John. That makes sense. And I think at that point we'll wrap up the webinar. We've gone a little bit over time, but just a couple of reminders. First of all, we have recorded this session today, and we'll make it available to everyone that attended. I'd like to thank everyone that joined, Jenny and Tim and Charles and Hai Feng and John Hoare, and especially John Crowder. We hope you've got a sense of how Southern Cross is improving rapidly as a university, going up in the rankings. More students are passing. They're getting very high paid jobs with high placement rates. Our new degrees next year include work experience and artificial intelligence. And not only that, Access26 makes us, we think, the best value public university in Australia with very simple tuition fees. So thank you all to attending. Thanks to the presenters, and we hope to hear from you soon and see lots of applications. Thanks for attending, everyone.